cause, which is Statehood, for those of you who are from out of DC. And I know Christina is here, she's always very supportive, and so I'm so glad that we're able to come together, and we do this every year to honor some of the key people who help us with doing this. I want to make sure that I thank everybody who helped put this together, from Nelson, who is right behind the camera, who is doing a wonderful job with the video. Let's give him a round of applause. And of course my mother, who is always doing the great cook. Senator Brown gave her about 2 to 3 years ago, I think you awarded her the official apron for being the chef of Statehood. So we're excited that we're also honoring her tonight. There you go. Anyways, let me make sure that I also give an opportunity to my co-host, Senator Brown here, and Senator Strauss wasn't able to be with us. He's actually has been with us every year, except for this one. He had to leave on a trip. And so let me make sure that we also hear from our co-host, Senator Brown. And then we'll pass it on to Sylvia Martinez, who is the chair of the DC Latino Caucus, and she's actually filling in for Senator Strauss. I think you'll be very pleased, trust me, and I tell you this. Okay, first let's go ahead and hear from Senator Brown.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. This is so great for you to do this every year, Franklin, to get us together so that we all remember that we're in this struggle together, and that we have a chance to recognize each other. It's really great. We've come so far in the last year. We'll talk about that as we give out the awards, but this is a great time for celebration for us. The Statehood movement is on the move. We're further along than we've been in more than 40 years, so we're really excited about that, and we're really happy that everybody in this room has played a part in this. This has really been great to have your support. So thanks for that, and thanks for being here.
And now, Martinez.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much, Franklin. You do this every year for us, and this is an important event for the city where we recognize the hard work that everybody is doing towards statehood. I want to give thanks to Franklin for inviting me here. It's an honor to be representing Strauss, and it's also an honor to be here with our friend Michael. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here, and again, celebrating the hard work of so many people in the city.
Okay, wonderful. All right, well, let's dive right in and let's recognize our first honoree of the night. This is Ann Anderson. Ann Anderson is, we would like to honor Ann Anderson, a trustee on the board of the League of Women Voters of Washington, D.C. Ms. Anderson has been a committed statehood activist for decades and has done a great deal to spread the awareness of DC's statehood movement and to educate others across the country about the importance of statehood and to make it known that district residents need the support of citizens across the country to achieve the rights other Americans take for granted. We thank Ms. Anderson and the League of Women Voters for the decades of service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. I am so pleased to accept this on behalf of the DC League and on behalf of the League of the United States of America. We will be continuing. This is our 100th year, and in the next time that we look at this, we're going to be seeing all kinds of things that we've been doing for the last 100 years. So thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful. All right.
Stay there.
Wonderful. Let's do the photos. Yes.
Yeah, the photo. Very quickly, yeah. There you go.
All right, wonderful. Now,
That was wonderful. So our next honoree is Anita Bonds, very, very dear to us. She is very impressive and has a lengthy record of public service. At-large council member Anita Bonds has provided the people of the District of Columbia with decades of public service. And as chair of the council's committee on housing and neighborhood revitalization, she has fought to expand tenants' rights, increase opportunities for home ownership, preserve and increase the district's affordable housing stock, and put an end to displacement of longtime Washingtonians. We are so proud to work side by side to make DC statehood a reality. Tonight, we acknowledge her accomplishments and decades of public service by presenting her with this well-deserved award.
All right.
We love you, Anita, and thank you so much.
Awesome. David Meadows. I don't know if Anita is here, but I know David Meadows is here, so I know that he'll be happy
Come on over here.
to pick up the award on her behalf.
Pick up the-
All right, there you go.
We'll make sure we take this to her and prominently display it in her office. So, thank you very much.
Awesome. Bravo. Okay, Senator.
All right, who do we have next? Oh, Jim Bubar. This
Yeah,
is
Jim.
a pleasure. James Bubar is one of the first people that I ever met in this movement. He's the co-chair of the Democratic Party Statehood Committee. James has served in a variety of elected offices and has been engaged in countless civic activities in support of DC statehood. He's a great guy. He works very hard at this, and we so much appreciate everything he's done for us. So congratulations, Jim. It's an honor to give you this award.
Thank you very much. First, I want to acknowledge my wife, Lane, who's here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's smart too.
And I'm very honored to be here in this great company. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sylvia. And I just want you to know we're fighting for statehood. We'll never give up. We've been fighting for statehood since 1801. It's about time we got it. And we're pursuing efforts in the courts. We're pursuing efforts on the Hill. Thank you, Eleanor. And we are pursuing efforts within the Democratic Party and also in elections in the neighboring jurisdictions. So, you know, it's all hands on deck. Let's try anything, let's try everything until we eventually get statehood. Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's do a photo. All right, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. Our next honoree is Maria Cristina Caballero. For nearly 30 years, Dialogue with Diversity and demonstrated its dedication to the advancement of social and political status of women, and in particular to promoting of their economic effectiveness through skill entrepreneurship. In the nearly 3 decades since founding the organization, Ms. Caballero's devotion to the empowerment of women of diverse cultural and national tradition has impacted countless lives, both in the District of Columbia and across the world. We honor her tonight to celebrate her truly remarkable achievements. Thank you so much for all you do and for all that you've done. Every time you have an event, you invite me and you allow me to be before a national audience many times so that I can tell them about our fight for statehood. Thank you, Christina.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me and honoring the work we've done in Dialogue and Diversity for the past 30 years. And also delighted that I had the opportunity to empower women in entrepreneurship and also to include diverse communities to be part of what we have been working on for the past 30 years. Of course, this got started many years over at the time when we were at Washington and met a group of women from, believe it or not, from the Russian community at the time in Washington at the 4-H Center of all places, and then also had the opportunity to join women in the conference, the conference in Beijing, China, which was the last conference that I've heard that's been working on the topics of issues that concern our communities, especially women. So I'm here to pursue the angle of women in entrepreneurship and the different issues that confront them, along with healthcare, as well as the opportunities to be entrepreneurs in an IT world, which is something that I think the young millennials now are the main topics and the main players. So I'm very happy that I'm able to connect with them and to also to empower them as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, now next honoree is actually my mother. Right, there you go.
I am just so delighted to present our next honoree. I am just completely delighted. It's Elpidia Garcia, Franklin Garcia's mom. It is such an honor for me to talk about her. She is the official chef of the DC Statehood Holiday Party and has provided her services for many years. She was awarded the official Statehood apron a few years ago, and we are so pleased to include her in the list of honorees this year. I have to say, let me say something. Ms. Garcia represents what every immigrant mother should be. She is a dedicated person, highly intelligent, devoted to the community, and devoted to her child and her children. So I just have to say it's such an honor and congratulations. Muchas felicidades por todo. Ha sido un honor presentarle a usted este galardón por su trabajo, por su dedicación y por ser un modelo a la ciudad.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias,
And Sylvia forgot one thing, an amazing cook.
There you go. You gave her that
Look
apron.
at it to me. Thank you.
Tell her, I know it.
Chila.
Ay, Dios mío.
All right. Our next honoree.
Our next honoree is Pamela Gomez, an advocacy and public policy expert. Pamela helps nonprofit associations and international organizations identify and advance policy agendas that benefit their organizations and their communities. She is serving as a role model and coach for young professionals in the region and is involved in local politics. And we're very happy to give her this award.
And I know Paula is here. There you go. All right.
And I have to say, she's also on the board of the DC Latino Congress.
All right. There you go. Awesome.
Sylvia, thank you so much. Franklin, thank you so much. It's really lovely to be here with all of you. This is being active in the DC Statehood movement has meant that I've got to meet wonderful people across DC, and it's been a great opportunity for me to really know my neighbors and to know people in my community. I appreciate this so much. Thank you.
All right.
Our next honoree is somebody that's very near and dear to my heart, Tamara Harrison. Tamara Harrison is in charge of a group called Iowans for DC Statehood. This is something that Senator Strauss started a few years ago when we went to the Iowa caucuses. Tamara has gotten every Democratic presidential candidate that has come to Iowa to agree to support DC Statehood. Not one of them has disagreed to support DC Statehood, and she's asked every single one of them. Unfortunately, she can't be here tonight because she didn't want to come all the way from Iowa, so we'll accept the award on her behalf. But she's done an amazing job with Iowans for DC Statehood, and this organization is committed to ensuring full democracy in the District of Columbia, and along with another group we have in Nevada, Nevadans for DC Statehood, we're going to spread this to all 50 states. So thanks for being a role model, Tamara.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. And our next honoree is Chuck Hicks. Let me do this one here. Chuck Hicks is the founder and director of the DC Black History Celebration Committee. Who celebrates Black History year-round. He is a community activist focusing on issues that directly affect the community. He serves on the there we go. Let's do a photo here. Okay. He serves on several Martin Luther King Jr. committees and is just an incredible advocate for everything he does in the city. He's continued his work as a member of the DC Democratic State Committee and everywhere, and you see him everywhere you can, trying to advocate for every possible cause. I'm really excited to have him here tonight. Thank you so much, Hicks, for all you do. There you go.
Thank you so much. When I came to DC 57 years ago,
One of the first persons I met was a lady named Josephine Butler. And Josephine Butler and Julius Hobson and a couple of other people were my mentors, and one of the first things we talked about was the fight for statehood. I was active with the labor community. I was active with different communities in my churches and different other kinds of communities. But I understood the importance from the civil rights movement of the importance of the vote. I come out of the civil rights struggle as my Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton does a fabulous job, and I take my hat off to her for all that she has done and continues to do. We've been friends in this struggle for a very, very long time. And one of the things that I think is important for me in terms of looking at the struggle is that we have a saying that still a saying that says, "We who believe in freedom cannot stop until it's done." And freedom means a lot of different things. Freedom means statehood. Freedom means fighting bigotry. Freedom means better health care. Freedom means better education for those who are without. Freedom means all those kinds of things. And you can't have one without the other. I am so grateful that I am surrounded by a group of people in this room and throughout this city who believe in freedom. So thank you so very much.
All right, wonderful. Awesome, thank you so much. Let's do a photo real quick here. Wonderful. All right. All right, okay, our next honoree is Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, Serbia.
The next honoree truly requires no introduction, although she will be, of course, get one anyway. We are honored to acknowledge the career and accomplishments of the Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton this evening. Now in her 15th term as Congresswoman representing more than 700,000 disenfranchised residents of the District of Columbia. Ms. Norton has fiercely and tirelessly fought to establish Washington, D.C. as the 51st state and give a voice to the district residents. As you know, this was an historic year for D.C. statehood, as the first hearing in decades was held before the Oversight and Reform Committee, and H.R. 51, the Washington, D.C. Admission Act, now has the required 218 voting co-sponsors to advance in the House of Representatives. Again, we would like to thank Representative Norton for her tireless efforts and devotion to making statehood a reality.
And I think Senator Brown wants to add something to it.
I just want to say that despite all the work that Delegate Norton, Congresswoman Norton does for us with 225 co-sponsors, a record number, she's also an inspiration to everybody that works in this movement, because she tirelessly moves the ball forward. And that's what we need to do to become a state. We need to keep on working at it. And you know, I've always admired this woman, but when I got elected to a job without a vote, I realized how wonderful she really is.
My goodness, the last person who needs an award here tonight is me, because what is really so remarkable what you're doing, Representative Garcia, and I see we have almost the entire delegation here with State Senator Michael Brown. What you're doing here is spreading, not the blame, spreading the praise. This, you know, I happen to be the face of statehood because I'm a member of the House of Representatives. But what is so important about all of the awards that are being given tonight and the work that has been done and has never been recognized is that you gathered in this room the people who do the work. And that is what makes this such a special occasion for me. I'm the last person who needs to be honored here. The people who need to be honored here are the people whose names you do not know in association with statehood, but who have been in the vineyards making statehood happen. So I so appreciate the kinds of event this is and being recognized as at an event when everybody who is making statehood possible, and it is certainly going to happen, the House of Representatives, will this 116th Congress pass our bill to make the District of Columbia the 51st state. Thank you, DC.
There you go. Let's take a photo right here. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, our next we would like to honor Phil Menderson. There we go. Phil is right here. The chairman of the DC Council and a member of the New Columbia Statehood Commission. Chairman Menderson has been a devoted public servant for more than 20 years, was serving on the DC Commission Council and has been serving the people of the District of Columbia for even longer. We would like to honor Chairman Menderson this evening for his continued achievements, his commitment to the district, to more than 700,000 citizens, and his efforts to make the Washington DC the 51st state. Thank you so much for everything you do, Chairman Menderson. All right.
Thank you, Franklin.
All right, wonderful. Here you go.
And thank you, Senator.
Yeah.
You're going to beer. That's good. So I don't know what to add that hasn't been said, and I'm actually honored to be following Congresswoman Norton. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your leadership on this for these many years, and especially this year with the progress that we've been making. But what comes to mind is Eleanor presided over the historic hearing that we had in September. And those of you who were there or following you will remember that the best that the Republicans could do in their questions and in their arguments about why we shouldn't have statehood was to talk about Jack Evans. That's the best they can do with regard to 700,000 people who don't have representation in the House or the Senate, 700,000 United States citizens who don't have the same rights and privileges as all of the other citizens of the 50 states. The best they could do is talk about Jack Evans. And while I don't want to celebrate what's going on with Jack Evans, not at all, I think it's very unfortunate, we, the council, are moving forward with something, with taking action with regard to council member Jack Evans, which I'm very concerned, are we going to see the same kind of action in the Congress with regard to the president?
All right.
We can do it in the District of Columbia, but can Congress do it? And if ethics in government was the litmus test, and this was a talking point, this was an important point that was made over and over again at the hearing, Eleanor, you'll remember, if ethics is the test, then there would be no states in the Union. So let's stick to what is really at issue here, which is the citizens of the district and their rights as United States citizens. We are full citizens in every way except in the fundamental way, which is the right to vote. So thank you so much, Franklin, for your work, and Mike for your work, and all of you for the work that you've been doing to advance citizenship for the district.
All right, wonderful. Let's look forward now. All right. Hey there. Ooh, what's going on?
Yeah, can you call?
Yeah, let's call 911.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Hi. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
You came to my home.
I know. I remember. I have it up on my blog.
Good.
70 minutes.
It's still working. Project's still moving forward.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
Hello, we haven't finished. So we can make some space. That would be great. We haven't finished with our honorees, so. Again, it's my pleasure again to introduce the next honoree. He is Mustafa Koroma. Where's Mustafa? Yes, Mustafa. Everybody knows Mustafa for his hard work in the city. Mustafa has been very supportive of DC statehood efforts for some time. You can find Mustafa at events throughout the city in all wards. He has volunteered countless hours to the cause of DC statehood and all different campaigns here in Washington, D.C. So he's very effective. Everybody loves him. He's always wanting to collaborate And he really represents what all residents here in Washington should be, who want to collaborate and contribute the best that they can and for the well-being of all of us. So anyways, thank you so much for your efforts and to our statehood and also towards all of us.
All right, awesome.
Mike, Franklin, Cynthia, thank you all for recognizing me. I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you so much. Jim, how is she doing?
I think she's doing fine.
Okay, good. Wanted to make sure. Okay. Our next honoree is Doris Martinez. Doris has devoted countless hours visiting with Representative Garcia, which is me right here, the international community and beyond. Doris is a seasoned diplomat that arrived in Washington, D.C. a few years ago, an attorney born in the Dominican Republic. Doris is currently an officer in the Dominican Embassy. Thank you so much for coming with me to all the events and helping me bring the word on statehood. Muchas gracias por todo lo que haces, muy apreciado por todo el tiempo que has dedicado, yéndote de lugar en lugar conmigo, hablando sobre el tema de estadidad de Washington. Muy agradecido.
Bueno, gracias Franklin por la oportunidad que tú me das de recibir un premio junto a tantas personalidades importantes. Gracias Silvia por estar aquí también y ser parte de esto. Nada.
She says she's very grateful for this opportunity. She thanks Franklin and she thanks also me for offering this honor.
Creo que es una causa muy justa, muy necesaria, la estadidad de Washington, y la verdad que estoy contenta de haber colaborado.
She says that the cause for statehood is one of just and one that has to be rightfully fought.
Y Franklin para mí es una persona muy importante, me ha dado acogida y espacio en todo lo que ha sido su trabajo que ha estado realizando.
So she says that Franklin, she's very appreciative of Franklin for having embraced her and giving her the space for her to be able to talk about the different issues.
Porque Franklin es dominicano, dominico-americano. Entonces eso nos sigue manteniendo conectados.
Because Franklin is Dominican-American, and that is what has given them the glue or has maintained the connection between both of them.
Así que quiero felicitar a cada una de las personas que recibieron este premio por su trabajo, esfuerzo y dedicación para lograr lo que es la estadidad de Washington.
I want to
Muchas gracias.
congratulate everybody who also have received these awards for their constant work and trabajo and what else?
Por su trabajo, esfuerzo y dedicación para lograr
and dedication to be able to reach the goal of statehood.
All right. Gracias, gracias. Wonderful. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. You're next.
Okay, well, our next honoree is Gabriela Mosley. I'm really proud to introduce her as well because she's also a member of the DC Latino Caucus. Through her work with the DC Latino Caucus, Gabriela has done a great deal to empower Latinos in the district and has proven to be a passionate advocate for DC statehood. For these reasons, we honor her tonight. Gabriela has worked arduously in many realms of the city. Everybody knows her, and she continues to work as much, not only for statehood, but for all other causes here in Washington, D.C. And
she's not here, but Mario is going to receive it for her.
Mario is the Vice President of the DC Latino Caucus, so he will be receiving the award for her.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. On behalf of Gabriela Mosley, I want to thank the organizers. I want to thank everybody here. Statehood is really one of the main issues for the DC Latino Caucus, as well as Latinos living in the District of Columbia.
Gabriela has been served as an ANC commissioner for a number of years, and she's a very active, she's a nonprofit executive, and because all of her contribution, I think she deserves this, so I accept this honor on her behalf. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And our next honoree, unfortunately, is not with us any longer, but we wish to honor her achievement and dedication to public service. Commissioner Nightingale worked tirelessly to serve her community in Ward 7 and the District of Columbia at large. Known for her social flair, creative spark, and no-nonsense demeanor, Commissioner Nightingale was a passionate advocate for the disabled, the elderly, and military families, having served her country honorably in the United States Air Force. Tonight, we honor the memory of this military veteran and devoted public servant. And I must say that one of the first persons that welcomed me into my position, the Shadow Congressman, was Mrs. Nightingale. And I am so honored that we're able to pay homage to her tonight. And her niece is here, Charis Mohammed. Please come closer. There are so many anecdotes that I have about your aunt. And I shared some of them with you last Saturday, how she embraced me and said to me, we're going to accomplish and get to statehood. We're going to do it. I had no idea that she was ill when she passed, as I mentioned to you earlier. It was a surprise to me. In fact, we had scheduled to meet and to go to a place, an event. And to my surprise, the news was that she had passed. So I am so pleased that we're all able to honor her tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so very much. And I know she would have been honored to receive this honor for statehood, DC statehood. I have a number of fond memories of my aunt, and I'm trying not to cry. I think initially as a child, she's always been politically active here in the District of Columbia. One of the fond memories of her is when we would sometimes almost get mobbed because they thought that she was the British singer. And we would go places throughout the district and we would travel and people thought she was the singer. But over the years, I left Washington, D.C. to pursue college and then, of course, living in Chicago. Upon coming back in 2008, one of the first things she said to me when I came back home was DC statehood. And her mission was to engage, inform people east of the river, because this issue affects people east of the river just as much as it does people west of the river. So I accept this honor. I am so honored to accept this for her posthumously, and I hope that we will continue the fight for DC statehood all over the District of Columbia and throughout the country. Thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you ready? Sure.
Photo. Thank you. All right.
Our next honoree, it's a great honor for me to present this award to Joyce Robinson Paul. Joyce is a longtime community organizer, passionate statehood advocate. As an officer of the DC Statehood Green Party, Miss Robinson Paul has demonstrated her passion for public service, and she is committed to the values that uplift the most vulnerable and protect the gains made by the working class. Tonight we honor her passion and her commitment to making DC statehood a reality. And let me just add to that Joyce Robinson Paul is somebody that has always had my back. She's always got my back, and it's really great when you're in a position like this to know that there are people like Joyce you can count on.
Wonderful. Here we go. She's right here.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you so much for this honor. It is an honor. My daughter served as the first congressional page for the District of Columbia, and the first thing she asked me, Mom, we don't have a vote? I said, no, we don't, but we're working on it. And then I had to start working on it. So that was 30 years ago. But that statehood is coming. And we are moving forward in every way that we can to make that happen. I recently started this quilting class, and I did a quilt for Statehood for DC Now. I'm so pleased and honored to have it in Honorable Eleanor Holmes Norton's office hanging up until we get statehood. Thank you.
Okay, folks, two more. We have two more to go. Sylvia. Oh, this for the photo. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, Sylvia.
Okay, so we are honoring now Mark Plotkin. The next honoree is one that unfortunately is no longer with us, but is greatly missed. Mark Plotkin was a longtime political analyst, talk show host, and a perpetual advocate of DC statehood, not to mention a local legend. He spoke loudly and passionately when advocating for DC statehood. Mark was known to be direct and to the point, rarely one to mince words. He helped return Washington's historic City Hall, the John A. Wilson Building, to the municipal control in the 1990s, and later spearheaded a campaign to get the slogan, "Taxation without representation," emblazoned on district license plates. Mark was one of a kind and an invaluable ally in the fight for DC statehood. He will be dearly missed.
Yeah, and I think we have a video, a 1 minute video that we're going to show, right, Nelson?
Sure, we'll
All right, let's go and put that video up. It's just
quick.
1 minute. The Frank Barr, who incidentally, Frank Barr is here. Frank, are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's here. Let's congratulate Frank. Frank not only won over the summer, was it this summer or last summer? This summer. This summer he won a contest and won the best short film, DC Statehood Short Film Festival, right? Yes, and last night he also won an award at DC TV also for his TV show. So congratulations, Frank. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see it. All right, wonderful. Okay.
Dearly missed.
All right. You want to say something about that?
Let me just say about Mark Plotkin, yes, that he will be sorely missed. He just was irascible. He never got off. He was such a proponent for statehood. I want to tell you a quick story. Delegate Norton will appreciate this. At the Democratic Convention in Charlotte, Mark thought that the chairman of the Democratic Party, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, hadn't been strong enough on statehood. So he came up to me and he said, look, you need to go into that room where all the Democrats are, and you need to stand up and you need to give this woman a hard time. And I said, Mark, you want me to walk into a room full of Democrats and assault the chairman of the Democratic Party? And he said, yes, it's your obligation. And I said, you know what? I authorize you to do it. He went into the room, he did exactly that, and he was summarily thrown out of the room. But that was Mark Plotkin. He never, ever backed down from anything, and we certainly will miss him. The next award.
Let me just add real quick. I can't do that, not tell a little bit about him. And also, when I got first elected, I was a very passionate Hillary Clinton supporter and became actually an employee of her campaign and went all over the nation campaigning for her. Well, in DC we had a major event that took place and everybody and anybody in politics showed up. And I had the opportunity to go before that audience and talk about Hillary Clinton, right? Which is what this was for. When I ended, everybody loved it and they all clapped and, wonderful, whatever. When I got out there, he got to me and said, why didn't you mention statehood? well, what is it that we elected you for? I mean, I don't, and from that moment on, there has not been a single event, whether to the immigrant community, the veteran, it doesn't matter who it is, in Spanish, French, to the hard hearing, I always mention statehood, because it reminded me, what did we elect you for? It doesn't matter that you had a great time, great opportunity here, and you missed it. I was very advocate about that. All right, there we go.
Well, this award is going to someone who has a special place in my heart. Her name is Maria Sanchez. And together we have started a show called Shadow Politics, which has grown from a show where we had friends on to talk about statehood to this year having 2 Democratic presidential candidates, being lucky enough to have Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton on our show, Sharon Pratt. We've had Michael Steele, the former Republican chairman, Ralph Nader. Just, the show has grown dramatically to over, we're getting about 1 million hits a year on the internet. And we're so happy. And then East Jenkins, we've had some great luminaries on the show, and Franklin, of course. But Maria, it was the chairman of the Southern California Republican Women. And as a Republican, she's a strong supporter of statehood. Chairman Mendelson just asked me if we had gotten any Republican co-sponsors in the Senate. We have not, but I believe that with the help of Maria, who's unfortunately not here tonight, she's out of the country. She also lives in Los Angeles, California. We do the show every week on Skype, but she's been an amazing co-host. She really believes deeply in DC statehood, and I'm very proud to accept this award on her behalf.
All right, there it is. All right. Okay, wonderful. Let's do a photo real quick here. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, well, 2 quick announcements, and then we wrap it up. So today, it was obviously, as we're so close to Christmas and the holidays, it was an opportunity to go just about everywhere, had an event that we could celebrate. Well, I had to go to 2 that were celebration of life, but unfortunately not where parties were. There were people that departed. And I want to recognize them, and one of them was the brother of the vice chair of the Democratic Party, Linda Gray. His name was Park Gray, and so we want to make sure that we acknowledge his departure today. And we also we just came from the Carlos Rosario, where they did a tribute to a lifelong Washingtonian. His name was Pepe Lujan, who passed, I want to say about 2 to 3 months ago, right?
No.
2 months ago?
No.
Not that long?
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, a couple of weeks ago, yes. And so the community, was there to say a last goodbye to him. And so we wanted to make sure that we also remember that. And the other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to recognize an honorable mention with the Stephen Cord, who is actually right here. And I tell you, we are so excited about the work that you do, and I know how easy it is. When you watch television and you see the facade of TV, you see all these presenters, the announcer, and you never think about the people that work behind. Well, that's you, and that's what you've been doing since I've been around. I see you everywhere documenting our work. And for that, I want to thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Okay, folks. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's been a lovely evening. Thank you, all the honorees. Congratulations to everybody. I think there's some more food out there. Please mingle a little bit more. Have some fun. Feliz Navidad.
Gracias.